Okay, this game is Fischer Berliner 1960. Fischer playing white plays e4. Berliner replies with the Alekhine defense, knight f6. And Fischer is tempted to move his pawn to e5. The knight gets chased a little in this. Now, the most aggressive way of playing against the Alekhine's defense is probably f4 here. Fischer's a bit more conservative and now just takes on d6 to try and just be content with a small edge out of the opening. After g6 he plays bishop d3. Now knight g2, so it avoids this pin, because if bishop g4 then f3 would be possible, so he's not routinely putting his knight on f3. A common plan for black here is e5 to tempt this d pawn, and so the knight can swing back, and then later f5. Now Fischer plays b3. So could black just play f5 here? Let's have a quick look. It's probably okay. Let's say Fischer played f3. Perhaps this is playable for black. But anyway, this wasn't the game continuation. In the game, knight d7 was played. Now knight e4. Knight f5. Bishop g5. f6. Bishop d2. So Fischer's created a slight weaknesses with this bishop g5 move, provoking f6. Knight c5. Now, after this move, things change strategically, because white takes on c5 and black takes, and now you'll see white's got this powerful passed pawn here. But at the moment, it can be easily blockaded with a move like knight d6. But Fischer's quite relentless in using this pawn later, as we're going to see, which makes this game very instructive from the perspective of the passed pawn's lust to expand. First, Fischer removes the potential blockader with this brutal bishop takes f5. Now this is quite a nifty tactical move. So if g takes, then rook f5. Rook a e8 was played. Let's see if black had tried to preserve this bishop with bishop h8. Perhaps white might consider rook takes f5 here. After g takes bishop f4, let's say queen e7. And here, maybe white's got a very good compensation, because this bishop's totally hemmed in. And maybe knight g3 here is really dangerous for black. If white can get another pawn for the exchange, e.g. like queen d3 and knight f5, and this bishop's blocked in, it will be a massive advantage. So perhaps that's why black played rook a e8 here. Knight takes g7, king takes, bishop f4, and you'll see that this temporary blockader now is the queen is tempted to move away now, forced to move away. Queen d2. So white's threatening now a skewer on the dark squares with bishop h6. Now white's slowly, simplifying the position here, and this pawn is getting more and more powerful as this simplification occurs. h3, a useful move to play g4 now, restricting the scope of this bishop. And g4 is finally played now. d6, finally the pawn is pushed one more square. And also c5 is now highlighted as a target. So black has to defend c5 ideally. So he plays queen e5. That allows bishop f4. And now queen c3 occurred. The pawn's immune at the moment because of this queen takes h3 threat. but white ignores queen h3, just carries on with his passed pawn again. Rook d8, so the rook's now the only blockader of that mighty d pawn. Queen e2 now. This is getting very dangerous for black. In fact, black's probably got a lost position because of this passed pawn, despite the opposite coloured bishops. Black played queen f3, and that really doesn't help the situation. White simply captured queens now and played bishop c7, which forced resignation. So despite the opposite coloured bishops, white's got a winning passed pawn advantage. For example, if bishop takes, and that pawn cannot be stopped, e.g. king f7, bishop takes f6, with queening the next move. So was there anything else here after bishop c7? Nope, it's all lost here. So we'll see quickly that the path of that pawn. It all started with this knight takes c5, and then if we recap, Fischer was quick to remove that very ideal blockader with bishop takes f5. And this move was also interesting, kind of exposing some of the black's weaknesses. And this f4 square was also used later on to discourage the blockaders, to move them away. As that shows with the bishop on f4 now. And here we see finally the rook going behind the passed d pawn for the final coup de grace, which occurs now. So it's a very fine demonstration of the power of a passed pawn here, with Fischer ruthlessly removing all the blockading pieces. Excellent game by Fischer.